Making classic chocolate mousse is difficult even for an expert, but there is an easier way, and it is mad genius. Traditionally, when you make chocolate mousse at home, a classic version, it starts with a chocolatey egg custard, which is finicky because you can scramble the eggs very easily. My version, which I write about in my book, Just Cook It, starts with a chocolate cream. So I'm starting with 2 cups of heavy cream, and I'm going to bring that just to a simmer. You want to do that over about moderate heat. So when your cream just comes to a simmer, then you're going to pull it off the heat. And at this point, we are going to add our chocolate. And we're adding milk chocolate because I love that flavor. It's going to give it a nice richness, but it's still going to be really chocolatey. And we're going to add 1 cup of chocolate chips. You can also use chopped chocolate if you'd like, and just add it right to the hot cream. And this is basically a ganache, but we're making a really thin ganache. So that just means less chocolate. So we're going to let this sit for 2 minutes, and then we're going to whisk it until it's really smooth. Okay, so you can see that the chocolate is starting to melt on its own. That is perfect. We're just gonna whisk it until it's smooth. This is so great because rather than making that chocolatey egg custard that I mentioned, you are simply melting the chocolate in cream. So you don't have to worry about tempering, you don't have to worry about overcooking or undercooking. I mean, at this point, you could really drink it. This is hot chocolate here, a very rich hot chocolate. Okay, this looks great. It's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to add the other ingredients that are going to add a ton of flavor. So first off, we have 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. And you want to use the darkest one that you can find because you really want to kind of enhance that chocolatey flavor. And just to bump up the chocolate flavor, but also give it a little je ne sais quoi, I am adding some instant espresso powder. And this is so great. I have it on hand for a little instant espresso or for baking. So add that right in. And I'm going to add a little vanilla, which is pretty classic in a chocolate mousse. So that's a half a teaspoon. And then I am adding a half a teaspoon of salt, which, as we all know at this point, is crucial in desserts. So you're just gonna wanna whisk this until it's combined. And you can see here, we have just a really beautiful chocolate cream. And that is going to become the simplest chocolate mousse ever. So I'm gonna pour this into a bowl here. And make sure you get it all in there. And then go ahead and cover this with plastic. You are gonna chill this for about 2 hours. You want it super duper cold. This chocolate cream is super cold. That's exactly the way I want it because it's crucial in the whipping process to keep your cream mixture nice and chilled. I mean, you can see that it's already thickened. I mean, it almost looks like a thin pudding before it sets up, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Because traditionally, when you're making a chocolate mousse, you would take your chocolatey custard and then you would fold in your whipped cream at the end. But in this case, we're skipping all that nonsense and we are starting with a nice cold chocolate cream. All right, so I'm going to transfer this right to the bowl of a stand mixer. You can also do this by hand, using a hand mixer if you'd like, and then just do it right in the same bowl. But I like the ease of a stand mixer. We're gonna pour this right in here. And for this, you're gonna wanna use the whisk attachment. So just go ahead and clip it on and close the stand mixer, and then you just go for it. And I would say start out a little slow, and then as this cheater mousse starts to thicken, you can kind of increase the speed a little bit. But don't walk away because this can happen really quickly. So one of the things that this kind of really eliminates is during the folding process, when you're traditionally folding the chocolate eggy custard with the whipped cream, is if your whipped cream is too cold, then it solidifies the chocolate. And then you end up with all these little bits of chocolate in your mousse. But in this case, we don't have to worry about that because our chocolate is a part of the chilled cream. You can see that it's starting to thicken. I'm just gonna speed it up just a little bit. You can totally see the difference. It almost looks like frosting. Oh, I mean, look at that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your chocolate mousse, and it happened pretty much before your eyes. So it's thick, it looks beautiful, and at this point you can even pop it in the refrigerator and just chill it until you're ready to serve it. But because I can't wait, I'm going to spoon some of this delicious milk chocolate mousse right into a serving bowl, and it's like the perfect texture. Right into a serving glass here. And then if it couldn't get any more decadent, I'm gonna top it with a little bit more whipped cream right on top. And then I'm just gonna break off a little bit of chocolate and I'm gonna grate it right on top for the perfect garnish. This looks delicious. It's chocolatey, it's creamy, it has that little hint of espresso, but best of all, it's the simplest chocolate mousse you'll ever make.